Trying to stop ballot counting. It's very, very simple.
Watching
there's no
some David Pacman at the moment.
As to the strategy here. And I don't know what happened with... Can somebody get me an update on the Biden event? They were supposed
That's
to
what it's looking like
speak
at the moment.
2:30. It's almost 3:30 here in the East, and we've not heard from them. Does anybody have an idea? Anybody know? We're not sure. I would love an update on what's going on with the Biden stuff.
Stop Wisconsin.
They said 15 minutes, 10 minutes ago. I thought that was the Trump event, though.
20 points.
Keep monitoring all of them at this point. Very, very crazy stuff that is going on here.
Almost 40 points.
Mark Billion says, hey, 58,000 new cases, but you were rounding the corner. Yeah, well, it's only a partial day, actually. Today, in terms of coronavirus, we have 58,000, but yesterday we had 94,000. Guys, 1,200 people died of coronavirus in the United States yesterday, and this is one of the things I talked about with Sam Cedar, which was there is no there seems to be a complete lack of connection between understanding things that happen and how our leaders relate to those things, and how if you don't like the things that happen with a leader, you would change the leader. That seems to be missing as a logical inference for a lot of different people. And meanwhile, they want to fire Fauci. Thanks for all the subs and gifts. I know I'm having trouble keeping up with anything. Squalor Goblin has gifted 10 subs on Twitch. And I do appreciate it. I apologize if I don't thank everybody. There's just a lot going on as we wait both for Joe Biden and a Trump cast of characters. We are expecting to hear from the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign all in the next 15 minutes, supposedly. Okay. So it was a Biden legal defense fund. That makes sense. If your opponent's trying to stop the counting of ballots,
that's quite
lawyers,
close.
you need some money. That's for sure. Yeah, I thought they were reading. Emails from the fundraising emails I've been getting from Trump, which are just hilarious. Stewart says, David, why do so many depraved Trump sycophants flock to your chat? Is this a case of Pac-Man derangement syndrome? Yeah, I don't know why they're flocking, but I do want to say a little something about that. This
Idaho, obviously.
This is kind of a weird thing, but fortunately,
Wyoming. Jesus, Wyoming.
Is somewhat insulated from the depravity of Donald Trump. So while with things like foreign policy, the whole country is affected, with the U.S. being a laughingstock globally, the whole country is affected, climate pollution doesn't respect state borders. In a lot of ways, I'm insulated from a lot of the things that Donald Trump does. And the truth is that my business will do better if Trump wins. That's the reality. So it's funny when all of these Trump clowns show up and they say, David, I can't wait to see you cry, and you're going to be the unfortunate truth, or fortunate whatever, is a lot of people may lose jobs if Trump wins. I expect that we will continue to grow very quickly if Donald Trump were to win. This really isn't about me. This is about other people. It's bad for the country.
Oh, it's looking okay at the moment. Alright, where's my phone?
I'm lucky enough not to have to do that, but it is absolutely absurd. The latest news is not only are
Pardon me.
Mechanisms being proposed in Philadelphia.
Sorry, I got to do it. I did my belt. I just had a big meal.
Take a look. Now, by the way, Biden's winning Michigan. If you stop counting now, Biden wins. Biden's winning, and Trump wants a lawsuit to stop counting.
Anyone who wants to observe can have access here, particularly to that adjudication process that I was talking about that is so critical here. So what we've seen today, transparency is the name of the game, Kate.
All right, Dasha Burns for us in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Dasha, thank you. We'll take a quick break here. We continue with this election coverage right after this.
All right, so lawsuits being filed there very, very strongly.
We've got Ozzy on board. I can see you, I can't hear you.
No need to cover it.
Oh, hang on a sec.
Oh, there you go, I can hear you. Cool.
There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, all good, mate. I'm going to bring you in. You're going to have your own little window. If I can find out.
The old Twitch stream with the volume down.
What was that one? Window capture.
A polling location, you can make your decision the way that you see fit.
Where's this called? Main lobby.
I think that, for a lot of Democrats and for a lot of posters, they have to recognize that just because you don't like a candidate doesn't mean that other people don't like that candidate. I think that's a big indication. And then two, not to throw shade at the industry.
I see.
Don't necessarily tell
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay, so
I'm just going to do new window capture.
This Trump event was scheduled for
Capture window. Okay, and oh, I know why. Damn it. Why didn't I think of that before? Yeah, I just need to put you into a separate window, I think, which will be pop out. There we go.
Donald Trump is filing
Cool.
There's no delay tonight, it would seem.
Oh, isn't there?
Because usually there's a... No, there's usually quite a big
if you're joining on YouTube,
delay. Oh no, hang on a sec.
What? Hand up, hand down, hand up, hand down. Is that?
For myself. Go for a second.
Okay, bear with me.
First and foremost, overnight, Wisconsin and Michigan shifted from
Which one's that one? That one?
Wisconsin has now been called for
Okay,
Joe
cool.
Biden, and
So that's up top.
is demanding a recount.
There you are.
Fundraising for a recount there.
We'll have us at the bottom, I think.
Michigan is very close to
that needs to go
Trump has filed a
up.
lawsuit there to stop the
Make
count.
myself smaller.
Even though he's losing, I don't fully understand the approach. Nevada is reportedly done counting.
Is there a better way of me doing this?
Nevada. I don't know.
I don't think so. You might just have to
Or not. And so
put it at the
far,
bottom there.
today we got about 7-8 additional % of the vote there.
There we go.
It remains a
Is that all right?
slim margin for Joe Biden.
Where am I?
Still have
Should be at the bottom.
Still can't see myself, but...
Oh, really?
Oh, all of a sudden.
Be a factor.
You
All of a
should
sudden.
be.
I mean, I can see myself on the Couric stream.
Oh yeah, yeah, cool, cool, cool.
Oh, hang on. That's it. Right, there we go. Right, sorry. Yeah, I keep forgetting there's a delay. So there is a delay. Sorry, it just might have been that everything we were saying
Happened to sync up. The exact same
happened to
thing.
be nicely it happened to be nicely lip synced.
How's it going, mate? All right.
Yeah, as good as it can be. Yeah, it's been a bit of an oppressive old couple of weeks, really.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying. I don't know if you want to
Everything that's
disclose.
going on at my end,
Yeah.
it was very heavy, and then there's obviously one of those things where just on a normal time you go, well, in a non-COVID 2020 you'd be like, well, at least I got the gig.
Yeah.
At least we got that to do, and then that's out the window, and I go, okay, well, at least I can go and see my friends. I'd actually made plans to go and see someone this Saturday, and then lockdown happens, and then the elections just it was preying on my mind, and the exit polls obviously had me completely shitting myself last night, and now this is just this is just bloody agony now. It really is,
Well,
It's almost like a feeling that after tonight, there's no respite. It's just I will go to work, and that'll be it. That's all I will do. So
yeah, I think quite a lot of people are in the same boat, aren't they?
Yeah. It's I mean, in the summertime.
Do you drive to work? Obviously, I'm guessing you have to.
Yeah, you drive to wherever you need to drive to. So, So in terms of that, it's a case of we'll be operating as normal because I think that the building sites will still be open, so there will be lots of need must. I've got to tell you about. I work for
You've forgotten. Who do I work for?
I know I haven't forgotten. I'm trying to multitask, and I'm clearly very
No, that's cool.
The Twitch stream up to Facebook so people can listen to us talk.
Oh yeah, good idea, I guess. I'm pretty terrible at self-promotion.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't do that before. Actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we just didn't shove the Twitch stream on there.
Twitch.
So yeah, right, there we go. I'll pong that on there. You know if that's an official word, but yeah. Is anyone? Is there pop-up blocked? Yeah. No, what was I saying? Yeah, so I work for I got a very last-minute job because it's all driving and it's 0 hours basically, and because it's all driving for a wherever you need to go. I was asked to go over to Aldershot for go and do an evening shift for a well-known, let's say, mid-price British supermarket home delivery.
Oh yeah, yep.
And got there. Yeah, not bottom tier, but not top tier either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they gave it, they gave me the keys. I said it's all fairly straightforward. Bear in mind what the weather was like on Sunday as well. It was pissing with rain. It was windy as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's going to get terrible, isn't it?
Obviously it was. Yeah, it was dark before 4:30, so all of my deliveries were basically all in pitch black. It really struggled to take all the bits out the shelves. I mean, it was an automatic. It was a brand new Mercedes.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, mate.
Am I going? Am I back?
You're back, I think, but your camera's a little bit pixelated. Oh no, you're good now. Do you have like bad internet or something? Like usually, is that like a regular?
Middle of nowhere, probably. I mean, yeah, Ookla will probably tell me that someone somewhere in war-torn Somalia has got better broadband speed than I have.
Oh really? Jeez.
It's just being in the Dingley Dells. I'm still on dial-up up in the hill next to me, purely because it's not profitable to actually put in proper internet where they are, and despite the fact they've literally said we will pay through the nose to have proper broadband, and just every provider's just said no, the infrastructure's too difficult to put in.
Mate's girlfriend lived in Andover, and her internet was terrible, and they basically had to get it like specially set up for them and all this. But yeah, that's got to suck.
Yeah. Yeah, that does suck. Yeah, so so it really was. I was in, driving around mostly in the sort of A3 sort of, Liphook, Borden, Mid, all those little.
Oh yeah.
A3, and it was an utter nightmare when you can't see people's houses to deliver to. It's an utter nightmare because you can't see the numbers, you can't see the names. It's your
guesswork.
My visibility at times was down to about.
Yeah.
Yeah, your visibility at times while you're driving, it was so rainy and windy. It was down to about 3 or 4 meters at the absolute best. You can't think in front of you, and you've also got to hit deadlines as well.
Yeah.
I did a delivery in Guildford. I was already pretty pissed off with it because I was basically my sweat was breaking up with the moisture, so I was fighting the moisture. This sounds like it's redundant, but I just realised how valuable air conditioning is in vehicles, because you can basically demist. You can basically have no mist inside the cab. So I was like, right, do I be freezing cold and be able to see out the window, or do I sweatbox it and
sweatbox and wait?
And lose some weight while I'm sitting down. I was doing enough of that, just trying to grab the great big, second that anyone's got milk or beer or Coke or anything in the
milk.
Someone's. I mean, I did say to the operators, have you explained that you'll still be open? I said, doesn't make a difference. This 20% increase in people wanting home deliveries after the announcement. So I was like, right, okay. So basically everyone's ignoring literally what the supermarkets are saying and listening to idiots, essentially. And I did a delivery in Guildford in a fairly sort of, little town street, and the guy behind me wouldn't let me back. And so as I was unloading, I was going well, this guy's not going to let me back. And I was asking the lady on the street, all terraced houses. She said, oh, right at the top there's a little tarmac turning circle.
Oh yeah.
You just go up there near the school and just turn around. It wasn't tarmac. It was a grassy slope. And
no.
2 hours.
Brutal.
In the rain. Oh, it was horrible, and you can't turn the engine off either, because then all the refrigerators and all the freezer units shut off as well. So I sat there, and the guy had to get this wacky, great big truck up a tiny little terrace lane, right in the very, very small turning circle area. But he got me out, so I ended up doing my last delivery at, I was told, oh, you'll be done by 9:30, 10. I ended up doing my last delivery at 12:30 at night, and then had a half-hour drive back home. So by the time.
Lovely.
The time I was actually back in my house was 2 in the morning on Monday morning. So I was meant to go to work the next day, and at 10 o'clock at night, I just told my guys, just find someone else to do it. I am so stressed. I'm so miserable. Nothing's going right, and now this is just the turd on the shit, on the shit cake. Really, this is just the icing on the cake.
Oh, hey, Chadwick. Welcome. Yeah, just talking with Ozzy at the moment.
Is this our amateur gamer man?
Yeah, amateur gamer man. That's Chadders. We're just covering some of the election stuff. I literally just started streaming now, so So, what What was that? You going to ask something?
I was going to say, what did you think was the best case scenario? Because I really wasn't confident. Like,
What about the
I'm just
lockdown
saying the polls.
or the election?
No, about the election.
Oh, the election. Well, I thought they would need a bit of a stronger win for the Blues, just to push Donald's rhetoric out that fucking window, basically. It's looking favourable at the moment, but I'm guessing the mail-in ballots are going to more swing towards Biden anyway, because Donald Trump spent half the fucking time telling people not to bother with mail-ins. So
Dismissing them and saying,
yeah,
and
which
I think also
might have helped
combination
Biden.
Well, the COVID denial, I think, in a certain way, means that, like, with the people who either go, you can survive COVID, or it's not even a thing, predominantly be on Trump's side, so they would just have no qualms about turning up to vote.
It's like real scary though, like the amount of people that are still voting for Trump after the last 4 years of what's happened. It's crazy to think, isn't it?
More so than voted for him in 2016.
Yeah.
By a significant margin.
Yeah.
3 extra million votes or something.
I don't know, like, how people can. I just don't know how that happened. Like how the world
There
is.
can be the way we look at things, right? Because we're looking at things from a sort of liberal left, and we are, you're looking at.
Yeah, but I don't.
Like Biden going, he really is uninspiring. You could have somebody like, a Republican.
Have you ever been put towards that rabbit hole? Have you ever been subjected to that propaganda?
Yeah, once in a while, like I've clicked on, I think like any Joe Rogan video. That
oh yeah.
Say somebody on. If you give anybody on the other
You'll come
side
up with
of the aisle, like
Jordan Peterson,
then the algorithm will start suggesting your Ben Shapiro's and your
I like watching those though as well though, but I never get like the really like fucked up news which is like completely wrong and all this kind of stuff. Like, I never get like the whole rabbit hole. I don't know how.
Like Infowars and stuff. You never get.
Oh no, I've watched Infowars with fucking.
Recommended Infowars once or twice.
Yeah, I've watched it. I mean, what first got me into like conspiracy type theories and stuff like that was back in like 2000 and must have been like 2013 or something when I watched the what's it called, Bohemian Grove, where you Sorry?
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove, where we did them that massive owl. Yeah, so that was my first. Shortly after that, I watched like Geist and other bits and bobs. But yeah, I've never.
Was
felt
recommended Zeitgeist, and I just thought I don't know if I've got amount of time in the day to.
It is
to watch it. Certainly didn't back then.
It's definitely interesting, so I'd definitely say watch it. I know there's other Zeitgeists as well, but yeah, just I don't know. It has a lot of information in it, which is good.
Would you say that it does it sort of swing one direction or the other in terms of like when it gets to its overall message, or does it have a generally anti-establishment feel to it?
It's kind of weird because it talks a lot about. Well, the one I watched, I think I watched on YouTube, which had parts of Zeitgeist in it first, which was called Wake Up Call. I wonder if I can find it. But that had stuff like about the depression, about when the banks lent out loads of money, then all of a sudden they asked for all the money back at one point, which caused the everything to crash. So yeah,
in relation to the credit, the 2008 thing, or is this something else?
Oh, this is like 1920s, like when the first Wall Street crash. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it has loads of different parts of it. But yeah, after all, like looking into that, that's when I started actually getting into politics. Probably about 2014, maybe. Yeah, and only obviously since I'd say 2015, 16 actually started participating. Because a lot of people think politics is boring and that, and I don't really know enough about it to begin with.
I think for a lot of people, it took the 1-2 bang of Brexit and then Trump for people to go.
Yeah, we've got
This
quite a lot of
isn't
newcomers. I mean,
This isn't just something that happens around me. This actually affects me directly. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still, even my brother, I talked to him and he still thinks it doesn't affect him and stuff like that. Like, I almost had to force him to vote.
Guy today who didn't know there was an election going on in America. He knew that Trump is a person.
What?
And he... Oh, yeah, on a building site. Young chap, maybe about 19, 20. Labourer. He was helping me get some stuff off and he went, oh, is there an election going on? He had a phone. He had a mobile phone.
He had a...
Yeah. How can you curate
Missed that.
your social media? Because you must have, like, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook or something. How do you curate your social media to the fact that it doesn't
not exposed to anything?
That, like, yeah, I mean, you don't have to be interested in it, but to not even know it's happening. That's that. But then again, maybe that's the reason that we end up in it. Because I bet there's millions. Just in this country alone, there's millions of lads like that who are just happy. Lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
Affects them, you know.
Well, it's the thing down the pub, you know, you hear your mates talking about Boris and stuff like that, and ooh, fucking liberals and all this kind of shit. Then they're like, okay, yeah, these are my mates.
They go, I think they're all the same. It's like,
oh yeah, I know. That's my brother.
Fucking different, you know?
That my brother is exactly like that.
Doesn't matter who gets in. It's like,
yeah, there's no point voting.
Changed since. Yeah, that's why nothing's changed since the 1700s. At all. Like, you know, that's why we're all still working up coal mines and getting a day off to bury a loved one.
Some people just don't want the hassle of like researching stuff because it is hard work to some degree. The amount of shit that goes on, especially in the last couple of years, it's hard keeping up with it.
It's probably easy to get pulled over to simplistic messages as well.
Yeah, definitely.
The
right
wing puts out rather than it is to go. Wait a minute. Maybe because I think when
it's
I
fucking
was
oven-ready Brexit bullshit.
Like 2021. Yeah, it's because it's easily digestible. You know, because it's easily. The whole, and that's what I think that the Democrats. That's what I think liberals are really, really appalling at doing.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah, in marketing, they're fucking.
I know it's terrible, isn't it?
Can't they? You know, I would say I agree with what they say. More basically, close loopholes on the mega rich dodging tax, up your pay, which hasn't been upped in years. In America, get yourself a healthcare system that actually works for somebody. You know, for the patient and not just the person who's billing you, and you know, stop basically putting out news. You know, stop the allowance of news outlets to basically only mouth corporate bullshit. You know, put the that's the kind of side that I see, and it's like, you know, put more money in your back pocket, make your safety net better if you happen to fall through the cracks, ensure that you get representation at work. How hard is it to get that across?
Yeah,
and that they won't stop hanging on about.
Well, the massive distractions like immigration and stuff like that, mostly based on stuff that they don't understand.
Brilliant, because if Trump just bangs on about that and creates a stir, which gets people talking about that, that's all very well and good. But that, once again, your whole, you know, I'm looking at the map now, and we're looking at your Pennsylvania, the Ohio's very blatantly gone red, Michigan.
Yeah,
you know, these are still swing states right now.
I reckon we'll get Michigan though.
I was not very enthusiastic this morning. I literally.
I know this morning. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, even if he wins, it's still not going to be good. Put it this way, because also Trump just refuses to go. I mean, when I heard that, I got a little bit of chills this morning when I heard him say, you know, I want to stop all the counting. I'd like, no, that's what tin pot dictators do if they know that they could lose something actually democratic. I'm up now. It's like you haven't even hit the 270. So, I mean, it is quite encouraging that, you know, I'm looking at the thing now. Last time I looked,
what do you reckon, Nevada?
BBC are quite behind. Oh yeah, I mean, the BBC are quite behind the curve because they've been putting 224 for the last 4 hours, and it's just jumped up to 248. Is that a definite 248, or is that
yes, 248, I think. Yeah, definite, because
definite 248. So if he wins,
they're called
Wisconsin's definitely gone.
Yeah.
Michigan's looking blue. I don't know, because the thing is, I don't know how many points Michigan is. It's knowing. The thing. When
99% reporting. He's still got the ballots, but looks like he's about 6 points ahead.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like, I think this is the first time, you know, a lot of people that I know also don't do politics have sat down and gone, oh, this is like these states mean this amount, and these states mean that amount, and these states always about and go from candidate every 4 years, you know, by a very slim margin either way.
Yeah.
But I think what it is.
Is that Dukes? It's Dougal here.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go, I'm in.
Hey, mate. All right.
Hey.
Yeah, not too bad.
How's it going?
Dougal, have you got headphones in or headphones? You've got your little eye thing. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I've got my little like headphones in the ears, little Bluetooth stuff.
Okay, right.
Cool.
Yeah, no. Oh, you're definitely washing up. I can hear that.
Yeah.
Clanging
It's a
against
big
stuff,
saucepan. Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, you've been working the last day, haven't you? The last day before the lockdown. I'm guessing it's pretty rammed at the moment.
What's the plan for you now that it's locking down?
Just furlough. Off for a month.
Is that it? For a month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations,
Yeah.
by the way. Say my congratulations. Well, a bit of good news. So you know, you got your lovely lady.
Yeah, now engaged.
Yeah.
Which one best man at? Wee! First best man. Never been best man before.
You know where to go for a band. Wink.
Yeah, there you go. Sorted.
Yeah, because if you don't, I need the work next year. Please give me work. Please.
Amazing.
So, Duke.
Band or DJ, Oz? Band or DJ?
Yeah.
Hey,
Get Laz and Oz.
Go the whole hog. Save some money by not going out and get the band in.
So, what's your what you've? I'm guessing you've seen the updates as everyone else has. What's your thoughts on the election at the moment then?
I reckon it's too tight. It's tighter than I was expecting, which is go to all American stereotypes. But yeah, I think it's
the actress said to the bishop.
Yeah, I think Biden's gonna win it. Just.
Yeah, what do you reckon it's going to be? A recount?
Oh, there's going to be a recount. He's already said he's going to recount Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But
He's trying to sue Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think so.
He's trying to sue everyone, isn't he?
Yeah, well, because he knows if he doesn't, he's not going to get any money to pay back that $400 million he owes.
Yeah, jeez.
He owes all the other banks. Yeah, I think the thing is for him. Yeah, I think this is like now he realizes that without being in the White House.
Oh, hey Lenny,
Much, like,
come in later, mate.
So much pressure him not to lose
Thanks for
and
dropping
then
by.
just become a civilian again.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's gonna get investigated like all the fucking congressmen and that were under his.
Yeah, and then and his kids, you know, and the nepotistic kids, you know, with Bonka, Ivana, and Ivana and Kushner and Donnie Jr.
Yeah, Donnie Jr.
Whatever the other fucking Chuckle brothers called.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the one. I mean, that's like, yeah, I'd be interested. I mean, that it does raise the question if he does lose and they all go down. There's rumor that like the Republicans would think of running Tucker Carlson, the Fox News host, in 2024.
Really?
I could weirdly see him being quite popular and actually pulling people away.
Yeah, the amount of people that watch. Well, primarily the votes coming from for Trump.
Bill O'Reilly's spot, and he was the
definitely.
No, in a certain way, like, and also him and Sean Hannity actually had a little falling out, like not very long ago, because he was having a go at Amazon. I think the thing is, he does like these weird little populist things of like, hey, these people aren't paying their taxes and you do, and la 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 la. You know, just these little drips and drabs where you go, he's not absolutely like, stock to the bone, winner takes capitalist, and then he finished a thing about how Amazon should pay their taxes, and then he hands off to Sean Hannity, and Sean Hannity goes, yeah, by the way, capitalism is great. Doesn't matter who wins, doesn't matter who loses, as long as someone wins.
Sounds about right.
Just before it goes to Sean Hannity's thing, like Tucker Carlson does that weird, like, I just shit myself face, and then the screen completely cuts to the other guy's program. So obviously there's a bit of conflict there, but like he is quite. He is a disingenuous person because he's a Fox late night host. This is something I didn't realize. Fox News can get away with talking bullshit because during the day when they actually have the running news, it's like with Shepard Smith, that guy, like it actually is predominantly quite factual. And
Oh, you broke up a bit, mate.
Oh, am I? Oh, okay.
Oh, you're back, I think.
As long as they say that, like, the programs after like 8 till late or whatever, like, you know, the primetime programs
Yeah.
are opinion, you can still broadcast that on a news outlet. That's the reason why they don't have to call it a news program, despite the fact that it's on a news station, but it's presented as fact, whereas it is mostly just, you know, propaganda and opinion. But it's the same with MSNBC. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same as
The
Trump
other
does every
side.
time he talks. He pretends everything he says is fact, but it's just bullshit.
If Trump goes, I'm hearing, it's like, I am making this up and pulling it out of my ass, please believe me.
Yeah.
If he goes, a lot of people are saying, it's like, I'm starting this rumor now. Nobody's saying it, but I'm starting this rumor now. And if I put the sprinkling of the idea in my supporters' heads that, yes, many people are saying, it's like, it's always like, you know, they're trigger words. And I think that on supporters' side, he goes, I'm hearing the windmills cause cancer, you know, and it's like, that's like saying, I'm speaking bullshit, and everyone else knows when, you know, the liberals or anybody basically who's not in the cult knows that when they hear either I'm hearing or a lot of people are saying, that's like, I'm making this shit up or I'm putting this idea in your head to try and get you to think that way, which is why I think he's declared victory early, because I think that he knows actually the mail-in votes are going to make up like the remainder of the Biden support, and that they haven't been counted.
Yeah.
So
I think he's
as
scared.
long as he makes out, even if it's a totally legitimate slither of a win for Biden, it totally makes out that it's illegitimate from the get-go. Therefore, his supporters are stirred up. I mean, like, you know, with people talking on LBC today, a lot of British people over there, British correspondents, they said one of them was in Portland, one of them was in San Fran, one of them was in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They all said they were advised to get food and fuel for a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Because they said, before the election, because they said there might not be any shops left not burnt to the ground, whichever way it's split.
What the fuck?
Well, it's that there's that Simpsons thing that just got shared as well, wasn't there? Where it's like a recent episode based during the pandemic and like during an election, and then like it cuts like 21 days later, and the city around Evergreen Terrace is on fire, and fucking homeless is sat on the roof of a beer. Like,
I think everyone's going to be the little dog. Everyone's going to be the little dog in the cartoon, surrounded by the flames with the coffee cup, and like, this is fine, you know. But it's really not. I mean, the thing is, it is sad, because I know that, you know, there would probably be, I don't think there'd be rioting from the left. I think there'd be like some protests which would then get like infiltrated by bad actors, and
well, hopefully they'll be protesting Biden as well. Like,
it's the same way the Black Lives Matter protest got infiltrated. It'd just be the same as that. It'll be people, and then there'll be like the odd thing that happened. But with the Trump,
and that's and then that will
fire and shit.
Yeah. But I personally think that, like, if Trump won an outright victory, there would not be riots, but there'd just be, like, the gun-toting, you know, the proper militia lot, you know, would just think, right, I'm enabled to go and do whatever I want. I'll just go and see somebody who might be a Biden voter or might be a liberal, and I'll shoot them, or I'll just go and like threaten them and their family.
Nothing matters anymore.
Because they'll feel empowered that they can do it. Because I mean, I had a real argument with someone online, you know, as you do, about how he didn't say during that debate, Proud Boy, you know, do you decry white supremacy? Literally on that one question, almost like says, I'm not only going to decry it, I'm going to encourage it. Proud Boys stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's like going.
And then afterwards saying that he didn't even know who the Proud Boys were. It's like, all right, of course he didn't.
Yeah, it's like, so why the fuck did you even call them by name?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did you even call them by name? And it's that, oh, he didn't say it. It's like, so what you're saying is he didn't hear what we all heard.
Yeah, it's
it didn't mean anything.
Well, it's you got to look at everything but just the plain speech, don't you? You got to, you know, the attitude, his support, like, you know.
This is why
it's the intention,
this is
isn't it?
also
Context.
the reason why it's very difficult to explain Because I think there's a lot of people go, well, he's not racist because he's not specifically said
I'm racist.
black people. It's like you
Yeah.
have to understand about coded language.
Yeah.
And then my mate, who I have debates with, posted him. Like obviously we disagree on a lot, but we're still friends. And he posted things like, oh well, how come the liberals know all the? Maybe they're guilty of something because they know what all the language means. It's like, yeah, because we probably had to interpret it. If you're a black person or a person of color, and you started to hear it being mentioned, you'd be like, do you know what dog whistles are? Because
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
that's 100% directed at you, even when it's not specifically saying, you go kill black person now, you go disenfranchise black person now. There's a lot of...
It's putting the seed of thought in
who
it.
need to literally hear... Yeah, there are loads of people who literally, until they hear Trump go, I think, whites are the only supreme race and everyone else is inferior. They literally need to hear him say it to go,
Yeah.
oh, maybe he does think that.
Maybe I shouldn't vote for him.
I don't think he necessarily cares either way, but he knows, much like Boris Johnson, I don't think he gives a fuck
More about the money,
innit?
It's just about the money with them both.
Yeah, money and power. If you can use it to, like Boris Johnson, I don't think he's specifically got a thing against, like...
Well, he knows that his supporters are white supremacists, so
yes,
he knows
exactly.
that...
He knows his supporters do, because of the stuff that he puts in the... it's like Trump's tweets did it for him, and Boris Johnson's newspaper columns did it for Boris Johnson. So it's like, right, I'm getting an audience out of riling up this shit that even I don't thoroughly believe in, but if it gets me power, if it gets me money...
What's the whole Bible thing, like the whole Christian thing? Obviously Trump and that, like, hasn't read a fucking Bible. Remember when they asked him in the interview and he was like, oh, what's your favourite passage? And he was like, all of them, all great, all, just fobbing off, basically.
It's literally the answer to someone going, did you do your homework? And you go, yeah, like what bit of the, or like someone...
I've done all of it,
yeah, I do. I completed it, mate. I completed it. And it's literally like the answer
religion completed.
Religion, mate, completed it. And it's like the answer to any person who joins a book club and then realizes that they just are incapable of reading the book, and they have to go like, oh yeah, I remember that specific bit, and they've memorized one bit from Wikipedia.
Oh,
and they
yeah,
just have to bang that on and hope that no further follow-up questions are actually asked.
Yeah.
But that is. But it is. But then again, it's going to sound like it's going to be really horrible to religious people or deeply religious people, but I also don't think that really I would ever see eye to eye with a lot of very deeply religious people.
Yeah, same here.
Baptist Christians, but if you are prone to believe anything that's utter nonsense, and then someone goes 2 + 2 = 4, but that doesn't work to the person who's trying to abuse them. The person who's trying to abuse those well-meaning but easily gullible people will go, no, actually 2 + 2 = Trump. They go, oh, well, I'm not used to
I won't look into it, but
if Trump says I'm a Christian, he goes, yeah, sure, why not? I'm a Christian, yeah, fine. There he goes, well, he said he was. So that's how easy it is to just pull the wool under someone's eyes, but actually show to
I'm the best Christian in the world. You won't have anyone better.
And that's the other thing. He has to be like, so the 3 times married poor. I love the fact that they were trying to make out like Michelle, that whole Michelle Obama's a man, and Obama's secretly a Muslim atheist.
Was back.
Christian or whatever, Muslim atheist, Satanist or whatever, all 3 things at the same time. Right, okay, so he's been married once to the same woman, and he's got 2 kids all from the same marriage, and he's not the Christian, and Trump, who's been married 3 times, got 5 children across 3 wives, and ragged porn stars, on his downtime, paid them off not to say anything. He's the real Christian person because he said he was.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just like, I say anything, and I know you're going to believe it, so...
If I was a worse person, I could literally con you out of so much money. But because I'm a better person, I'm not going to do that. But it would be remarkably easy. You see how remarkably easy it is to con all these, to con people out of their trust and out of their money, because it's that mindset of strictly believe what you've been believed, especially if it doesn't make sense. Because if you start questioning it, then you're...
Well, people somehow believe that Trump is like anti-establishment, or he's, one of the general population, rather than...
It's ultimate establishment. He's louder than other establishment people, and he's more brazen. That's
it's crazy. Like, everyone's lapping it up there. They're like, oh yeah, he's one of us. He's going to change loads of shit, rather than...
I don't get how people can say he's one of us.
Millionaire.
He's a fucking millionaire. Yeah, I was going to say, you can't say he's one of us and then fucking... he's got like a fucking ivory tower, literally.
Yeah, literally. If
And
you
all
want to
this
talk about
money
ivory
given to,
towers,
like-
he's got a fucking golden, tower, and he built loads of them just as testament.
And all
to
the
his own
tax as
ego.
well that he doesn't pay. Like, how does that make you on par with the general public? Like,
No, because of course you're clever. Then that makes you clever.
oh yeah, if you cheat in the
If you
system.
avoid taxes and you're poor, you're cheating the system. But if you avoid them and you're rich, you're clever. I can't remember who said it, but it was.
That's like setting a
I think
bad
it was
example, isn't it? Like, I don't know why all
woman-
these Christians
yeah.
don't see that.
Probably, it was probably pretty to tell.
Yeah, rules are for the little people. I think that's also, if you look at rules as well, I think what I notice is that people who generally have sort of swan through life being kind of blessed with just never having to worry. The second you've got something like a lockdown, a coronavirus, something like that, where actually everybody's subject to the same, sometimes for the sake of saving lives, quite draconian rules, and suddenly they shit themselves about it. It's like, oh, is this what happens when rules actually apply to you as well? Like, suddenly you don't like it, do you?
Yeah.
You used to think rules are something that only apply to, rules are things that only apply to, the little people. Yeah, what is it? I'm going to look that up, actually, because that's a quote that was quite telling. Taxes are for the little people. Who said that? That was Fiona Helmsley. I can't remember. Who was in the top 10 tax dodgers of all time in Time magazine, actually. We don't pay taxes. Only the little people take. And do you know what else? She was a hotel tycoon in New York City. Now, who else do we know who's that?
That sounds about right, doesn't it?
But she actually did go. She actually did go to prison.
Well, Trump brought up loads of the New York, didn't he? He bought loads of property and lots of land.
Podcast really went into it quite well. I would recommend, even if he actually goes out, it says a lot about like his father raised him to basically say, if you get into trouble for lying, keep shouting short 3-word slogans or sentences at people until they give up actually accusing you of like the thing you've done, because eventually they'll give up. Because
that must have been what he
3-word.
Yeah, that must have been what he was talking to Boris about on the phone then.
Yeah.
Just get Brexit done. Just keep shouting that and it fucking works.
3-word slogans are very much the requisite of the right wing, I have noticed. And it's like the sort of send them back, not my problem. Get Brexit done. Yeah, something like that. Well, that's a bit of a stretch.
Well, they want something to put in a bumper sticker, don't they? To show everyone how
short and sweet. And I think that's why Democrats or liberals, Labour people, they're pretty, they're big ideas, so they can't be condensed down into a soundbite, which is what
we inquire more.
People have to live on soundbite. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think that's also, it's the media's fault for making people have the shortest fucking attention span possible, because they're trying to shove as much, regardless of what side. I'm going to say that, liberal and conservative media are absolutely both as bad as this is possible. Because there might be a really good story, about something that someone's bad on the right wing has really done, or something that Trump's really done, but they'll condense it down to something that's not entirely true because it fits in a small bracket. So then it gives the other side a chance to go, oh, well, that's technically not actually true.
Or they're like jump on something that is not fully understand yet, so they'll just like release an article of like the first 2 paragraphs, like more later, and it's like, well, first of all, get the facts and the actual reporting done, then.
Yeah.
What's that, mate?
Nothing. I'm talking to someone else.
Oh, okay.
I paused the thing.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I'm glad you're giving us your centre of attention tonight, Dougal. That's really...
Yeah, thanks. He knows what's important.
Well,
it's his last day at work. He's not going to get fired, is he?
Right. Oh, Georgia. Ooh, Georgia's looking tight. Blimey.
Yeah.
Is that a live stream right now that you've
Yeah, this is live at the moment. So Georgia's Donald Trump 50.2% and Biden is 48.6%. So it looks like he's above about 8 points. It looks like Trump is ahead. Wait, Georgia, I reckon. All day it's been like.
They said that what they were going to count. I mean, if he does win Georgia, it's not the absolute end of the race, though, because if Michigan does go blue, which he's looking to do,
North Carolina's relatively close.
Is it?
Oh
And
yeah.
how far is that into the counting?
94%.
We know. 24%. Okay.
So it is
North
likely.
Carolina is quite a big chunk of votes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's jumped. That's 248. Oh, okay. Arizona 51. So that was the too early to call, and that's right now as well, is it? So everything I'm looking at now is. So he hasn't even got the points from Arizona yet.
No.
So he could get those, which would put him at 260. So then, if he does win Michigan, that's game over for Trump, isn't it?
Pretty much, I think.
First to 270. It doesn't because Trump's still at 214. So he's definitely made the jump. I never thought I'd be this involved in basically, a candidate that I have no, I think that people don't quite understand the impact the states has on the way the rest of the world operates. If they're held as the standard, because if they're held as the standard bearer, if their standards for, say, healthcare, food treatment, health in the workplace,
imagine if they were standards for healthcare. Jesus Christ. I mean, they've got
just imagine the utopia.
For everyone else, yeah. I mean, it's good healthcare. It's just stuff run the wrong way.
Exactly. It's not like this is the thing that there's this another disingenuous thing they do is go, "Are you saying our healthcare is bad and our doctors are bad?" It's like, no, I'm not saying. Nobody's saying your doctors are shit. Nobody's saying it. But the system where you have to have someone there like totting up, the price and whether you can afford to be fixed, standing by the side of your bed. That's what makes it shit. And then phoning. You have to phone up your insurance company and go, "Sorry, the ambulance took me to the wrong hospital, so now I'm not on the same network."
Yeah.
Like now
now you're $2,000, mate. Jesus, that would be like that was.
I'm going home.
Grey Scout.
Yeah.
That's
$2,000.
That's literally what it is for an ambulance ride in America. It's like $2,500 just to get an ambulance.
Don't call an ambulance. I can't afford it. That shouldn't. No person in the world should have to say that. But unfortunately, they do in there. So, Jesus Christ. I mean, it really is just. And the thing is, what did you? I don't know whether any of you saw the thing I posted on Facebook, which was the amount of donors that like the map of when all the candidates were running in the Democratic Party, the amount of donors that ran, like the amount of donors from all over the thing. Actually, Simon might be able to find it. I don't know whether he can go onto my Facebook profile.
Yep. I'll come on another window.
I know you've probably got umpteen things going on.
Yeah, that's right. I'm getting used to this streaming malarkey a little bit. So
exactly. You're basically running a little multimedia empire from your bedroom, as you do.
Yeah.
With your lights and everything. But there's a map of all the areas, like a sort of intensity map. So the darker a color is, the more intense like the donations are coming. And it was donations map of each candidate who was like basically
when did you post it?
Running in about February time. And
February.
Bernie Sanders. Yeah, like
what?
When it was still, when there were still like 6 or 7 candidates still in the race.
When Bernie was there.
How do I search
Bernie
February?
Was basically leading it. When Bernie was basically leading it, his donations were coming from everywhere, and they're also coming from like bits of the country where there wasn't even, that nobody, pretty much nobody lives there. So that's like rural voters are voting for him. If you look at there was,
I could see Bernie coming back because I could see it being a tactical thing. I think he got told somewhere in the party going, if we get Biden in now, at least he'll get rid of Trump, and then he's more likely to because he's a bit more. He's a kind of Keir Starmer of America. They had their
Can't find it.
With Corbyn, Biden's like Keir Starmer, so he's like the more.
The difference was Bernie Sanders wasn't even given a chance to run.
Yeah. Oh, mate. If
you do remember that. How many candidates dropped out on that 4th primary? Yeah, because he dropped out before because the DNC fucked him over. But this time he dropped out because the DNC fucked him over again. But they did it by basically going to Mayor Pete, Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren. So what happened is that all the ones that could have basically sort of divided the vote up, but still would have left Sanders with a large percent of the vote, and Biden, they were basically given a choice of like, oh fuck, I was on the fence. Now I still think socialism, or even let's call it what it is, center leftism for Americans. You know, center leftism for us, socialism for Americans is a scary thing. But all I've got the choice is Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden, so I'll give the vote to Joe Biden. I won't give it to Mayor Pete. I'm not going to give it to Amy Klobuchar. I'm not going to give it to Elizabeth Warren. So like that's why they got them to drop out. Because you like basically split that fucking vote down the middle, so that Bernie doesn't take too many of our, that's what they did.
So do you think if Bernie Sanders was running now, what do you think the election results would be looking like right now?
From the amount of people in 2016 who said who were attending the Republican conventions, said if Bernie doesn't get the nomination, I'm voting for Trump.
Yeah. I heard a lot of that this time round.
Quite telling. And then that
Biden came up.
Not that long after the inauguration in West Virginia, like one of those CNN town halls, which was in like they did it in the most Trump voting county of Kentucky, proper mining town in the mountains, red as you like, and they said like, look, we literally voted for Trump because he was the only person saying that he could make things better, even if he may have been lying. Clinton said things were fine and didn't need to change, and you said that's not good enough. And we were left with someone who said she's not going to change a damn thing because it's fine the way it is.
But I'll change something.
Versus I'm going to rip up the system, and they took a chance on him. I think that's what that they it's quite obvious that certain way the DNC.
That might have helped, not Biden, sorry. That would have helped Bernie Sanders, that mindset as well. If they do, he'd have like radical changes he wants to make as well. That would benefit most of the.
Back then, and as they did this year, they still don't appeal to rural voters because they don't think it's worth their time to try and get their vote. Which is stupid, because rural voters used to make up the Republican Party, like 50 years ago, used to be the preserve of the the Wall Street people, but also the intellectual elite. And the Democrats used to be blue-collar working men with, and farmers with spanners and trowels and dungarees and all that sort of thing. And it's completely flipped now. Now that it's the same way that, they see us as the Brexit voting elite see people who like read The Guardian and eat quinoa. They just think that they're completely out of touch. They're not going to do anything for me. These people are promising nothing shit. They're promising, the Tories are promising sort of a return to a time that never was. But they're saying that things may be shit, but at least they'll be shit. The brown guy and the Polish guy as well. So it's like, well, if that puts me on an even keel, so at least the brown and Polish guy is having a shitter time than me, even if I'm having a crap time, then that'll do me because I've got no better option coming from anywhere else. I think that's why Sanders just didn't get through. And I think when people bang it all down, they've got to stop going, this is all because of racism. This is all because of racism. This is all. It's really fucking not. It plays into it a bit with Trump.
If not, it does encourage it and exacerbate it rather.
But the problem is, as long as you only talk about that, you're ignoring the economics, everyday reality that a lot of Americans, about 78% of them, according to the last poll, 78% of Americans were living check to check before the pandemic. Trump's apparently amazing economy. So that should have been a wake-up sign that, like, oh, this isn't, this isn't just about, these people are just ignorant and don't like coloured people, so therefore they're not worth our time. There's a lot of them. It's like, but the problem is that the only people saying that they want to change the system to put more money in your back pocket is Trump and his lot, is Trump and his new form of Republican conservatism. The Democrats are saying I should shut up and be grateful for the small thing that I have.
I think it's a bit strange, though.
Bernie Sanders was the only person who said that's not good enough, and I want it to get better.
It's weird, though, like when the people are voting for Donald Trump or like Boris, the conservative side of, or the right, rather saying, it feels like, they are kind of how can I explain it? I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit there. No, you carry on. Sorry, I had a point.
Oh God!
Sorry, I've got so many screens on at the moment. I'm quite easily distracted as well. I had a good point. I'll try and think of it again. I'll try. Oh yeah, that's me in a
Thing is,
fucking
what we
nutshell,
need to
mate.
talk about is, oh look, a shiny thing. Biden's won Wisconsin. Is that literally just? Well, he didn't. Hang on. Did he already?
Yeah, he already won.
already-
Yeah, he already
won
won that.
that.
It's Michigan,
He already
yeah.
won Wisconsin. So basically, we're looking at Michigan and
Nevada might.
Pennsylvania.
Nevada's still.
Nevada's one of the key ones. Probably still there's about 30% left to go on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
I mean, he
that
has
brings
got.
him up
That's
to
a significant.
270, so.
It's not a victory.
Yeah, I just really want him to get just, even if it's one more vote over 270, because if he only gets 270, he's going to get in the Senate and nothing will get done. That'll be a complete deadlock. And if he has to start doing things by executive order, I mean, the problem is, it's one of those things where if he has to start getting anything done just by executive order, the Republican media will rip him to shreds for the things that they never gave Trump shit about because he is a Democrat. So that is the problem. And that, they said that Obama was a tyrant because if he needed to get something done, the deadlock Congress and the deadlock Senate, that he had to put it through executive order because that just bypasses everything else. So if you want to talk about the plus sides, all of the squad, they kept their seats. A lot of first, and I think Oregon's actually asked because they got down ballot things, so they've got like little, aside from the general, the general election, what are the other things that you would vote on? And they've just legalized possession of all drugs.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
All drugs. Yeah, all drugs.
Oh,
so
nice.
if you get caught with like
war on drugs is over then for them.
So yeah, I mean,
hopefully,
there is no war on drugs. Won.
Yeah, drugs won. Yeah, drugs always wins.
It's Bill Hicks's bit from the early '90s. What you're insinuating is that there is a war and drugs are winning it against people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically, if you're caught with, if you're caught with a little bit of weed on you and you're also caught with a bit of heroin on you, you'll be treated the same way as, and it won't be considered a crime.
Yeah.
You'll be possibly, consider that you might need, help,
therapy or something. Yeah, I mean that's what it should be, shouldn't it? That's
what it should be.
What is it in Switzerland? They have like the heroin booths and stuff like that. They do something similar.
The key stuff with that is that they're going to have to get rid of. They're going to have to drop charges against all the people out as well. Otherwise, it's pointless. Otherwise, you've got all these people rotting in prison that have got like.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! I mean,
like retrospective.
Yeah.
Well, the amount of
exactly. Yeah.
The amount of people
who are in prison because of the same thing that's legal now.
Exactly.
Like, they should be pardoned, or like at least put to like community service, or their sentence shortened by like 6 months or something like that.
Well, I think they should get help. I mean, if you're like, if you're anything violent and stuff like that, obviously that's a different path to go down.
But if things aren't going well for you, if you're continually caught with heroin on you, no matter how little there is, because I don't think anyone's heroin story ever ends well.
Yeah, you don't want it like supplying to.
It's usually because they've done something. Yeah, it's usually because they've done something else other than that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that will play out actually. So then hopefully that will have a knock-on effect.
They actually all voted to raise the minimum wage. On the down ballot for Florida has raised the minimum wage to $15.
Oh, nice. That's what a lot of places were doing, weren't they?
It might have to be thrown out. So
that's shit. Yeah.
That is the problem because, of course, possibly if Biden wins, the fact that in Florida, of all things, a swing state. This is the thing. When you actually look at what people vote on outside of the candidates, when you look at what most people vote on, I think 70% of Americans, that's across the board, so that has to include conservatives, liberals, independents, want Medicare for all type system.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with the
they've got nobody offering it to them.
It's the same with the general election though. Last time, like, it was 80% of people voted in favour of Labour's policies, yet they voted for Conservatives.
That's the thing. If you Democrats, if they just, I would say a more progressive kind of Democrat, if they actually threw their policies out there without attaching a name to it, I think that they'd get, they'd have so much more people following them. But it's the whole, I think it's the whole toxicness of everything post-Reagan with Clinton putting the NAFTA deal in that basically sent a load of jobs overseas, and then the attachment with him and his, philandering with Monica Lewinsky, as the best Robin Williams joke goes, poor Bill Clinton, he found the only Jewish girl in the world that couldn't get a stain out. And with Obama, like the promise of Obama versus the fact that he struggled to get anything done because he was, basically kneecapped at every turned by the Republicans in the Congress and the Senate.
Yeah.
I think they just see it as like, well, nothing's really made a difference regardless of who I voted for. So if you stick a Dem sticker on it, it's just a case of who will fuck me less. That's literally how people are voting in this election.
Yeah,
It's like,
pretty much.
who will fuck me less? You know, who is going to take the least from me?
How?
There'll be something over like,
What do you think this?
Like ours would have been the same as well. Like I probably would have voted green if I thought they had a fucking chance of winning it.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people would.
Like, it's more like a
I voted
tactical-
green in. I voted green in 2010 and 2015. So at the time,
Yeah.
Labour didn't appeal to me with the way that they were. I think had I known how bad things were going, how bad things would go, I might have thrown in my vote anyway, just to play it safe if it made a difference.
Yeah,
But that's
exactly.
the
And I
thing.
think,
The
like,
second,
it's good to vote for them in like councils and stuff like that when you get the council, when you get the local elections.
Oh yeah, definitely
Council,
local
like,
elections.
It's good to vote for people like that. It doesn't really affect like the MPs are still your same fucking MPs. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
at least then get like if you're in a Tory stronghold, you still get like a coalition or a Labour or Lib Dem or Green like actual council that's in your area, which at least makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean,
what amazes me is that the Greens didn't just swallow the pride and just link with
Labour. Yeah, they said that they wouldn't, didn't they? They specifically said that they wouldn't.
Left-wing platform. I think the Greens had an ideological one. Why they didn't just go, look, just merge everything. No, just merge everything. Let the Conservatives and the UKIP side let them smear us. Don't give a shit. But we're splitting the vote unnecessarily here.
Yeah, kind of like what they did in New Zealand, where now they've got like a Labour Green coalition.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I thought Labour.
I think she was already majority.
Yeah.
But she's already got the majority by slightly, but they've done like a little coalition, like agreed to some sort of deal within it, just to get her a bit more as well.
I mean, that's
50. Isn't it like a more borderline? Like, didn't Jacinda Ardern's party get 50% of the vote, just under in general?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's just, I think
did they have to join with the Greens to get like?
No, she'd already won the majority vote. I think it's like 40% to get the majority to get like it anyway. But I think she's done that a coalition in terms of like getting stuff passed. Where usually that's a fucking pain in the ass to try and get things passed through Parliament or anything. If you only got a 40%, you can still get all the other shit against you.
Did see that Australia's party, like they've got a sort of female Nigel Farage equivalent. I think she runs like One Nation Australia or something. She's called
really?
Hanson. For about 20 years, she's been like the equivalent to Nigel Farage to Australia's political system, and her party
just a thorn in her side.
Just got fallen off the face of the map.
Yeah.
He's trying to fucking get himself in as well. Did you even see that Andrew Neil took him to task today on the fact that he's saying fraudulent postal votes that we have no evidence of must be dismissed before they're even discovered not to be fraudulent?
Yeah, so what?
Yeah, and did you see the thing as well? Where like, what was it? They said they showed in the what was it? Piers Morgan showed in the clip of a fucking Donald Trump saying about injecting bleach, but is that a thing we could do?
Oh yeah.
And then he just showed him it, and then he still denied that he said it. I was like, you literally he says it, and you're still denying.
Like, we literally, yeah, but that is the thing. That is the thing that I think
deny until it goes
our
away.
Side will just anywhere. Pennsylvania, 84 expected, 87 expected voted. What does that mean? Expected voting? Is that like
prediction? I guess
that's not how many. Yeah, 56. Oh, is that the amount of people who voted that can vote?
Where are you looking?
Looking at the thing that keeps changing on the left hand side, with the percentages of either side. It's just gone to Georgia. You see it now? It says 93% expected
Georgia.
in. Yeah. I just realised that you're probably not. So it's on the Twitch stream.
It's on the Twitch stream.
And if you look at it, I think it's on Hassan Piker's channel, which
I
don't know whether that's. Yeah, so it's like I think it's the ABC News. Is that ABC or CBS? I can't see. It's
No,
ABC. So it's the ABC News feed, and it says expected in
NBC.
NBC. Oh, is it? Yeah, NBC, IBC. Right. Yeah, and that was the other thing. Like, because I don't watch that much. What you might call terrestrial news. Actually, I did try and
neither do I. Yeah.
Sky and BBC and all that sort of news.
I watch the YouTubers. They've got YouTube channels. And they have like the snippets and stuff like that.
Yeah, so do I. Like I go for it for that. But oh, hang on, what's that? 253.
Oh, that's a projected winner. Yeah, this is just predictions, I think.
Well, that's predictions,
Michigan
right? Okay, right.
90,
Yeah. God, this is confusing, 'cause unless they
49.8%.
Or according to Google, it looks like Biden's pretty much got Michigan.
Yeah. That's what it's.
It's
yeah, it looks like so. If he's got Michigan, how many points is that? If he gets
He's
Arizona,
ahead 6
which
points
is what,
almost.
11,
Arizona's
16 electoral
11.
votes. So
If he gets
right,
if
so
he gets
that
to
would
16, all he needs then is we've got 16 from Michigan. Where the fuck's Wisconsin gone? Wisconsin's
It's next
got
to it.
10. I'm not sure.
Yep, so Wisconsin's got 248 now.
He still needs Nevada.
Yeah, that'll go blue though, I reckon.
But Nevada's looking pretty. Nevada's
It's still
looking
75%.
pretty strong,
Yeah.
and that's what, an extra 10 or so. So that would,
yeah, and if Nevada's 6, so that'll put him on 270 exactly, I think.
Nevada's 6.
And then
270
if he
exactly.
Yeah, and then if he gets, there's one more seat left in Maine. That he's got guaranteed 3 out of 4, but there's one more seat left. If he gets that 4th one,
Yeah.
then he'll be 1 over as well. But then you've also got.
I didn't think you'd be able to out-know me on American politics, Dougal, but you've become so fucking knowledgeable. Like literally in the last 2 years, you run circles around me.
I remember when I was.
It's looking very, very, very tight in North Carolina and in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania,
really,
it's gone down from 600,000 like before. It was waiting at 60%. It's on 86% now, and there's only 315,000 left, and they're still probably got about, when it was 60%, they had about.
Where's this, Nevada?
1 million votes left to count. So there's still about 500,000 left.
Pennsylvania.
There's still about 500,000 left to count, and if you take into consideration it's about average on the exit polls of 66% Biden. That potentially means he could still get Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
Also,
that's juicy.
Those will be predominantly Philadelphia and Pittsburgh as well, which are mostly likely to be Dem strongholds as well. So if those are the ones that they're left to count,
it's the densely populated ones.
Let's have a look actually.
That are most likely, and you've got North Carolina. Still looks like it could squeeze it. There's 6% left to go, and he's only 77,000 behind. I mean, I don't know how many that means there is left. I don't know what they're counting in North Carolina, but I know Pennsylvania had the higher one.
We could still be talking about this on Friday. I reckon this could still be
going
on because I think Pennsylvania is an enormous count. Yeah, Georgia.
Well,
I mean, Georgia. The thing is, if
6,000 difference, but that's still
Trump's got 70.
Even if they go the other way, if Trump's going to battle Wisconsin, let's assume he's going to do the same for Michigan and Nevada, judging by how tight it is. And then you could say Biden will probably do the same thing in that case, and Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Just to be like, oh fuck it, I may as well do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
That's if he loses them, obviously. If he doesn't lose them,
what are the closer ones?
Somebody phoned up LBC today because they were talking about if he takes it to the, it's like, right, so it's state courts. If they turn it out, it takes it to the federal courts. If they turn it away, takes it to the Supreme Court, of which he's just shoved Amy Coney Barrett onto it, which swings it
in their favour,
being a quite in their favour. But some guy phoned up LBC today, and actually he had a point, which he said, if the Supreme Court basically just kowtows to Trump because he's not getting his way,
that leaves a bad precedent.
He doesn't think, because that'll be set a very bad precedent for them, which might mean that then if the faith in them goes down, if they just basically become untrusted by the people who are behind, let's say, the previously suggested winner, that is going to create just the most fucking awful environment for them to be
in. Going to be. They're already on the brink of a civil war, and stuff like this is just going to add it to the tally.
It's going to add fuel to the
Biden,
fire.
Yeah. With Biden already winning, looking like he's going to win as well. That's going to
is Vermont still not finished counting? Because I'm seeing a lot of states where it says, they're not even at.
Vermont is it's Biden 66%.
Yeah, no, some of them still got Pennsylvania
90%. Yeah.
They still got. They're still 90% in other places. But
New Jersey 65%.
To be ahead, but most other new states Google's already saying Biden's got 248 seats. Most news are saying 227.
Notice that. So BBC still had it at 227 half an hour ago.
Google, have you got a Trump supporter with you?
That's cool. We got a few fucking states split to like Democrats. Fuckers, yeah, I know. But even like that was like, end of the day, American politics, Democrats, Rosie's like to do that for themselves. Yeah, I know. It's not much different. Yeah.
What's your friend saying, Joe? Because he's a bit off mic. We can't hear him.
Oh, he was just saying about his dad was saying like even if Democrats do get in, they're only slightly left off of our own conservatives as it is.
Yeah.
Republicans are just so heavily.
Not even. Let's right. Yeah, but our own conservatives at least pretend that having a nationally funded health service is what
a priority.
Like.
Yeah.
You know, the Dems. The Dems in America, as in general, or at least the leadership of the Dems, don't even pretend that that's what they should have, despite the fact that people want it because they want to play it. They're so obsessed with playing it safe, and I think that what happened tonight, if they only squeeze a win, squeeze a win. What they shouldn't do is start kowtowing to everything that conservatives want, because then that will put them exactly back at the same place. They'll put them back in 2016 for 2024.
So
that's the problem. That's where it will land them.
What do you think will happen?
Yeah, they've got the same problem with like the same way when obviously Corbyn didn't get in when it came to the 2017 one, but the stuff he did afterwards now heavily one way he went, it kind of fucked him over for the next election. So everyone's like, no, I can't do that. Too like extreme. So you want to be careful as to not swing too extreme.
Yeah.
The thing is, the difference is what I tell people about the difference between a like going, oh well, Bernie Sanders would just go the same way as Jeremy Corbyn. Like, no, because Bernie Sanders didn't have a Brexit albatross around his neck. That is the problem. And what?
Because when you look at the vote, he didn't have it around his neck. He nearly fucking won in a massive swing from where he was in like 2015, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, if you look at the swell in the membership, and then if you look at the fact
2 million
that,
young people registered and all that.
2017 election, they thought, oh, that would just be a washout for the Conservatives would win that hands down. They didn't even get a majority, and the Labour increased their majority. And they were contorting themselves, going, I don't understand this. But back then, Brexit was still, will this actually happen? Will this actually be a thing? And then what they didn't count on was the northern people who are what you might call old-fashioned socialist, but he still wanted a Brexit of some kind, and
that's what
he wasn't.
That's
what caused the landslide, because the amount of people who said, I held my nose at the ballot box as a son of a miner from a northern town who's always been red, and gave it to Boris Johnson, feeling quite sick as I did it.
Yeah,
they're all regretting it now, aren't they?
Well, yeah, massively. Yeah, I think that, to be honest, and the fact that Labour's overtaken them, even with somebody as quite bland and sort of not necessarily knowing what side of the fence he sits on as Keir Starmer. I still don't know what. I knew what Jeremy Corbyn stood for. I don't know what Keir Starmer stands for, apart from not being.
I don't think.
Fucking Keir, mate.
It's pretty much similar to Tony Blair, already. Like, it's not quite as bad as him, but he's still.
But Tony Blair endorsed Keir's decision.
Tony
Blair,
actually pre-Iraq War wasn't awful. I think that's what people have to forget in terms of the amount of funding he put back into infrastructure and public services.
He's in cahoots with all the Conservatives, though, isn't he?
Is that I think he, but he had to sell it to, like, I think that was the whole thing of you got people who are sort of will never be anything, but they feel aspirational.
Yeah.
They need to sort of, like a conservative saying, well, you could be anything you wanted. That's the other thing about Trump, where people won't have got richer under Trump, but they'll go, well, it's not a case of I'm not poor, I'm just a temporarily dispossessed millionaire.
Yeah.
So I will be successful. I will be a millionaire somehow. I think one of the best memes I saw today was it's just like a picture of, it looks like a sort of picture of a young, like a person in their late teens' bedroom in like 2006 or something. Like, there's a big CRT TV. There's just tons of shit all over the floor. There's like a bong. There's like a kind of like an overly big beanie hat, and it's just like, and it's a guy looking completely baked out of his fucking head. And the caption's like, yeah, but Biden's tax plan, man, like, I've got plans to be successful. It's just like people who will never aspire to anything, thinking that, well, if I did get successful, I think
they're
don't want to have the mildest inconvenience,
Well, they want to be part of the bourgeois and all that, don't they? They don't realise that they're actually a proletarian, like.
Yeah, and it's like you can be, you know, you can actually be a kind of working person and you know earn a bit of, you know, like most of the people I went to school with that didn't go to university, a fair amount of them went on and became builders or electricians, and you know they're doing quite well. But it's one of those things where I was talking to a chap and he said, I'm just becoming a victim of my own success because I have to keep hiring more and more people because the phone never stops ringing.
Yeah.
And I sort of look at someone like him and go, like, if he voted Conservative because he just heard the words lower taxes, he might go. But he's also got now got tons of children as well, which I also think like plays into the, you know, that's the other thing. It's
Education,
like when people
healthcare,
who get
and
successful,
everything.
they just like end up child after child after child, and then they end up like they're chasing their own tail in terms of paying for family upkeep despite doing well. I think it's quite easy to make a boogeyman out of the make a boogeyman out of the single philandering student left wing kind of person and go, well, they don't have the problem of mortgage and they don't have a problem with children. They know nothing about real life. It's like, well, maybe they just knew enough not to like literally realize that you can use a condom once in a while. You don't have to like, you know, you don't have to the second you want to, you know, get it on with your wife. You don't have to produce, you know, wait 9 months and produce a kid out of it and then look after it for another 18 years. You have the option of like,
carry on, sorry.
Carry on. No, carry on. My rant is
I
done.
was gonna say, and also like the fucking, we also realised that they all had those options at their age. They could have a mortgage. They could have
exactly.
And then we're like, wait a minute, it's your fault that we can't have this shit. Something's gone wrong somewhere down the line. Why can we not afford it?
Yeah, of course it has.
Look at the wages.
I don't remember if was it me or Simon who posted. No, I think it was me actually. It was the price of a, you know, like the price of income in 1990.
Posted that.
Then it's like the amount of income barely goes up, like a teeny tiny fraction. The price of a house goes up like 5 fucking times as big as the amount of income. But apparently it's because we all have too many a manger coffees.
Too many avocado and toast.
Funny enough, a lot of us hadn't had for about 5 months because they weren't open. Always with Starbucks and Costa, and we were trying to scrape by at home. And suddenly we were all homeowners because we didn't have time to go out and spend frivolously. But if you look at the way some people think, you would think that like they worked like 18 hours a day up a coal mine and barely had enough money to turn the heating on. It's like I've seen pictures of like parents of your friends who were born from like 1980 to 1990. They were driving new cars. They were going out to the pub and having a laugh. They were going on holidays. They didn't exactly look like they had to scrape and struggle a lot, and they were homeowners.
Yeah.
So there's clearly something very different along the line. It really is. And you know, my stepdad, for example, he's got a daughter who works. He thinks that she's a success, but she says, "Oh, I'm miserable because I literally can't have any days off, and I work about 12 hours a day. But I've got a house," and I'm sort of in the back of my head going, almost not worth it, really, is it?
Yeah, that's not.
You're working like 12, 14 hours a day, and you literally can't take a weekend off, and you're. I mean, he says, "Oh, she's on the border of crying again. I think she's crying again at the weight of it, and she's trying to, you know, like she's lost the lodger on the one house she was using to pay off the other house." And I go, like, it just almost sounds like you're trying to bite off more than you can chew for the sake of having the achievement, rather than actually, you know, it sounds horrible, but living within your means. And
a lot of people
can afford one house. If you can afford one house, don't go immediately, I'll get this house and then I'll get a mortgage that I can't afford on the second house. Get somebody to live in that to pay off that mortgage that I already am struggling because I've already got one house as it is. It's like after a while, you know, get that when you have enough money to buy a house with no mortgage attached to it. When you have the money to save for it. I mean, I
think that's why all rents are so extortionate now, because most people that own houses own like 3 or 4, and they're all struggling to pay all of them,
definitely.
Which is why we're paying over the
my parents included.
Tiny little studio flats and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
both my folks own rentable property.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why. Is that for a lot of them, they some of them. I mean, the reason that my folks owned it is because in 2 occasions. In 2000, I think 2007, they were both told their guy said, take your money out of stocks and shares because I think something bad's going to happen. I don't know what. I've just got an inkling. Put it in property, and sure enough, it did. And they would have been fucked if they'd kept it in there. I mean, they would have been really up the creek. Oh God, is that Rudy Giuliani?
Yeah.
The Trump
of course it is.
Put his hand out of his trousers for a change. But he is.
I love Rudy because he's fucking crazy. Like throughout the whole Russia.
For Rudy Giuliani is comedy value. Yeah, you know, you know, you're going to
He
get.
dobs
like,
everyone in
interest
by
review
accident
out of
all
it.
the time. It's just like funny to
really
watch.
is Mr. Put his foot in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but they, I mean, they've both got properties, and now they're worth a lot. But they also both lost, like, between two of them, they probably both lost nearly like a 6 figures each in a pension scheme that went to the wall in
Damn.
08. So, in certain way, I don't begrudge them having properties because they have no private pension anymore to speak of that they entrusted their money to, and it just
Luckily,
12
out.
years ago just went up in smoke. I got a friend of mine, works as a chef, lives not too far from me, lives on a hill. His dad was quite well to do, had something to do with the running of a big local public school. And he had shares in Scottish Widows that were actually worth like over £1 million worth of retirement shares, and they were all gone.
All gone.
So he had a pretty nice retirement. I mean, he's not hard up for cash anyway, but he ended up having to stay on like another 5 or so years. I think he was expecting to retire in 2010, and then ended up having to take it out to 2015. But then again, he did have enough money to buy his son a house to live in, which was kind of nice of him. And he did do that, and and technically his son's like, in his early 40s or something. He's a really nice guy. He's now lived long enough so the fact that he won't have to pay inheritance tax on it when he dies. So basically, he got a free house.
Yeah.
Which I think is exactly. Which I think is it's pretty nice because he could have like charged his son rent to live in, but also they said that his dad can't live in there and pay a small amount of rent. There's some weird clause about like you can't like rent from your son or something. And yeah, it's like they don't want that. It's almost like they don't want you doing it if they think it's a tax dodge, even if it's like being nice to your kid.
Yeah.
Which sort of tears me because I think there's certain things on whole inheritance tax thing. I think, what was it, your mate Joe?
Yeah.
Great chap. We had him on. I think his idea that saying like he said he was a libertarian, but he said there should be close all the tax loopholes at the top and tax them much higher, and then remove the tax from people earning up to £30,000 a year. I actually thought that wasn't a bad idea, actually, because it would certainly send so much more. Imagine the amount of money flowing through the economy at the bottom end in just consumer stuff that would then happen, and then also making sure that there's no one, basically skimming off the top at the top. I thought that was kind of a good idea, to be honest. Like, raising that. I am Mr. Taxman. I believe that they go a long way to create an infrastructure system.
Yeah, definitely.
But the amount of holes you could plug now by taxing billionaires.
It's just what they do with it, isn't it? You got to have a government to trust
and it's
to
like
do.
They'd still be billionaires, and you get all this thing going. Oh well, these people, technically it's assets, it's shares, it's stocks. It's like, okay, right. So get rid of all that, and then just go back to individual wealth. Are they still billionaires? Oh yeah, they've still literally got billions of dollars in the bank. Like, okay, right. So now we're at that case. That is like, if you gave the average person, not even like, I mean, round my way, it would be like, right, I've just about got a house and maybe a little bit left over. But if you gave the average person,
I'm just going to the toilet quick.
Pounds,
you carry on. 2 secs.
If you gave the average person £1 million, once they bought a house, if they bought a house anywhere outside of the home counties that was semi-decent, you'd probably still be left with more money than most of them would know what to do with. They could buy the Lamborghini and they could buy the Rolls Royce, and they'd still be left with like, well, what do I do with the rest of it? These people have like 1 million times that. And
I think the big problem people have with billionaires is that no one becomes a billionaire ethically. With like paying their wages, their staff, their wages, and stuff like that. It's impossible. Really,
it's impossible. How could you possibly? Because at some point, unless you're grifting people within your system, within the people who work for you, there cannot possibly be any way that you've earned that money ethically. Especially if you would like, you cleared, like, you made it to 100 and you just became a billionaire by just lots of gradual stuff, I could almost understand it. But Jeff Bezos is what, like, not even 55? Well, I don't even know how fucking old he is.
Amazon's only like 20 years old, isn't it? So,
and he also got that with, like, his parents had $300,000 to loan him to start the whole business.
Yeah, and he's only going to be trillionaire. He's going to be a trillionaire by the end of the month, because the UK alone will probably make that happen just from Christmas shopping, because we ain't got nowhere to shop.
Yeah, which also fucks over everything else. So yeah, in a certain way,
Yeah.
the pandemic's been brilliant. If you're a, if you are Jeff Bezos having a friend who works in Amazon, I mean that's been net worth. Hang on, I'm just looking at it. Like net worth still at this stage, 180 billion. Having said that, that's probably even out of date. That's got to be more. That's got to be more than that. It's 180 billion. Also, because they can write off taxes because if they well, I didn't know this, but apparently if they submit projections that are way higher than what they're going to earn and they don't hit it, they don't have to pay tax because they go, oh, we expected to earn this and we didn't. Oh, we expected to earn $1 trillion. We only earned like 600 billion. So that means that we're just skimming under the level of which we could pay tax. It's like, well, no, you told yourself that you would earn all that, didn't, but still earn an obscene amount. And then also managed to like make more money than anybody else on the planet, but it wasn't all the money on the planet you expected to earn, therefore they can let you off the hook for taxes. It's like, give me a break. Seriously, that's not how it should work.
No,
I can't go like,
ridiculous.
I expected I expected to earn £100,000 this year, so you would have got 40,000 in the tax coffers, but I only earned about 25, so you're going to let me off any taxes that I owe, right? I can't do that.
Exactly. That's mad. If I just got tax bill free for last year, because obviously I had 2 jobs and I wasn't working that much between 2 of them. I think I earn about
mine at the moment.
Total. But I owe them like £1,000 apparently, and then they're asking it on this year, obviously with pandemic, where I'm earning for 6 months of the year 80% of minimum wage.
Well, mate, during furlough, right? If you remove the gigs, like the gigs that I ended up losing, and then they put me on furlough. So the gigs obviously stopped mid-March.
Yeah.
And that's driven me completely up the wall. You know, you could probably give me £1 million today, but if you said you still can't do a gig again for another year, I'd say just keep the $1 million. I don't want it. I just want to get back on stage. But if you told me that, like when I got furloughed 2.5 months after I stopped working, it took that long to come through. And my old man, something that matured or something, so he gave me like 500 quid, and I wasn't spending a lot, but I had to, you phone him and go, right, just cancel the insurance on my van, cancel, delay my phone bill, yada yada yada. I said, right, I'll give you I told my old man I'll give him 80% rent of what I normally give him. What I worked out is that removing the gigs and then putting me on an 80% of everybody I spoke to in my agency was like, what's this 80% judged on? Like the least amount we worked in a month, because it's not a very generous 80%. It's a really not very generous 80%. It was like barely 700 quid. And but because all those years, that was like 55-60% of my income, I couldn't then claim back my self-employed income as a musician because it went under the 50% bracket, as did my old man. He couldn't claim for any money either because he got money from pensions and rent, like my rent, the renting out the flat and his pension combined, and that was like 53. So it was like 3% over what he would earn doing music. And so I ended up I was basically removed the gigs from that equation, and I was on 30% income for 4 months.
That's mad.
Yeah, not fun. So so when I ended up getting that small windfall in, I then had to go into an argument with my credit company. Go, look, you can't just take it all from me in the middle of a pandemic. I've literally lived a but I know I lived my folks, but I lived a threadbare life of not doing anything for 4 months, and I've lost more money than that windfall is. So can you at least let me keep it and let me pay you back more per month? They're okay, fine. I've got
to go now as well because my thing's disconnected and my phone's going to die.
Oh, it suddenly at that last minute you became clearer. You suddenly came through in remarkable clarity.
That's because it's on my phone now because my battery just
right. Oh, well, in that case, change your headphones and change your headphones then, because they're crap in comparison to your actual phone. Get a nice set of headphones with a mic in it. Biden takes Michigan and says we will win. Ooh.
All right.
Oh, yikes.
I'll catch you in a bit because I got to go.
All right, no, I think I might be holding the whole show. Have we got Simon back? No, we possibly haven't. Anyway, what is the news? I'm just going to read out the on the Twitch channel. I'm going to read out right. Biden takes Michigan and says, "Clear, we will win." What happens if the U.S. election is a tie? And other questions. Here we go.
Hey.
Oh, do we have a?
All right.
Dougal had to. Dougal had to go because his phone ran out of battery.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
Then the second he took his earpiece out, the sound quality suddenly became amazing. So I think his earpiece was shite.
Oh, okay.
With his little ribbon microphone thing. But I'd be. It's 2-4. The BBC still got him on 2-4-3, but their polls have him on
2-6-4 at the moment. On is he on the Hassan's Pokers?
Oh yeah. What's
2-6-4.
that? For Michigan.
It's got to be Michigan.
Calling Michigan.
Yeah, it's got to be Michigan.
So that's got to be Michigan. So then if
he gets Nevada.
If he gets Nevada, what's that? Did you say
that's 270? Yeah.
That's 270, and then if he gets that little one in Maine, it's 271.
Where's Maine?
Dougal said there's there's a little sub count in Maine that like has to be counted separately or something.
Oh, there is. Oh, is there? Well, at the moment it's 52%. Almost 53% for Biden and 44.2% for Donald Trump. So I'm guessing that's gonna swing in favour.
Sorry, what was that one?
That's Maine. That's Maine. That's 4 electoral votes.
Maine. Oh, is it? That's Maine. So Maine gives like 1 point or something.
Maine is 4 electoral votes apparently.
Oh, so that could be 274 possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nevada will probably go our way, but if not, then obviously we've got Maine that we could. Well, Maine on here has already been reported, so I think Nevada's the next one.
Just swing it.
Yeah.
I could just swing it.
So what do you think will happen if Trump does win?
Sorry?
What do you think will happen if Trump does win, though? Like, is there going to be backlash, or is there just going to be like a rollover and just wait till next time?
There might be a rollover and wait till next time, and they'll do all the wrong analysis, and all the talking heads will say it's because they weren't conservative enough, or that they still weren't inclusive enough to people. They'll get all the wrong points.
Yeah.
Basically, they'll make all the wrong points possible. So I would not imagine them learning a lesson unless somebody really does smack them around the head and go, "You did it twice. You ran 2 uninspiring candidates twice, and you lost. What are you not getting about this?"
Yeah.
Or just I don't know, like maybe DNC, just somebody goes in the DNC and just basically blows it up from the inside and goes, right, you start again now, and get your head in the game.
Yeah.
Because they don't represent where the country is going. They don't represent it at all. They represent a kind of just stuck eternally in sort of this third way of like 1995 or something. This sort of, like cozy woolly centrism that doesn't really do anything apart from throw out word platitude salads about unity and togetherness and yada yada. And like, but are you still gonna let billionaires, take advantage of tax breaks? Like, it's like, are you gonna give us a healthcare system? No. And it's like, well, no, it's too difficult to do all that. We can do anything. What about a healthcare system like every other developed country in the world? Nah, too difficult. Try something else.
Too difficult. Wait and try.
Yeah, go and try. So yes, you're saying Fox is called.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look at Trump's
that's
Twitter
be the Michigan
quick.
points. BBC's really behind. They're still on 4-7, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna check out Trump's.
Well, I've noticed
Twitter.
there's a lot of talking heads there. Look at that. My God. 248.
I see what you're saying.
That's going to increase.
How do I check out his posts?
I don't quite
tweets?
know. Thing is.
You can only see tweets if you follow someone.
Sorry?
Can you only see tweets if you follow someone?
Not if someone else retweets them. So if someone else is retweeting it, even if it's like an opinion they agree or disagree with, you can still see it. It just depends.
I have no idea how to work Trump.
Don't know what's going on there.
I'm trying to see what's happening on Trump's Twitter, but it's not showing anything for me.
Probably angry.
Well, yeah,
mostly anger and noise.
I want to see his reaction. Like to.
Not that you're a sadist or anything.
No, of course.
Schadenfreude,
But I just want some kind of retribution. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd tell you. I mean, it sounds terrible that it wouldn't achieve much, but my God, it'd be so nice to see him go to a criminal court. It really would.
Oh mate, one day.
I just feel because do you know why? Because it said if they do it to him, they actually get any kind of conviction. Doing it to anybody like below that, any of your Martin Shkreli's, any of your other sort of even Republican senators or anything like that, would just be easy from that point on.
Yeah.
If you can indict the former president of the United States, and you can just do it to anybody who's even subpar that level, who's been only just a naughty boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is going on?
Yeah, I have no idea how to work Twitter, so you might have to check out Trump.
I'm just right. Okay, still going on. Election polls. Results. All I can say is I'm just 548 and Nate Silver and all that. They really are they're not very good. Really, I don't know why they're so overtly enthusiastic about everything. So it really didn't reflect reality again for the second time. Election results. Live election will win Wisconsin, nearing 270 electoral votes. So it's the thing is, it's been trying to explain. It's not that I like Biden or that a lot of people do. I think they just want
lesser of two evils,
to live in a world where they get up in the morning and they're not fucking terrified of what the leader of the free world has done. That could
just by a tweet or something stupid like that.
It's just relief. It's like looking at the most powerful person in the world who's basically mocking everything that's kind of like sincere and is democratic and just holding hissy fits when he doesn't get to do illegal shit.
Yeah, there's like more honour with Biden. If he gets caught out doing some shit, he'd probably resign. There's no way Trump would ever do that.
Yeah, exactly. Of course he would. Yeah, if something bad happened, he'd probably resign, hand over to Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And then that would be it. And then her biggest bugbear is that she's, a lawyer and a policeman, and that, for the side of things that's more progressive, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not. To be honest,
it's in
even
a better
if Trump
direction,
got
isn't
those
it?
20 votes from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I can't see him. He won't have enough. Surely, he won't have enough.
Hopefully,
he's not got enough to hit 270.
What you talking about Trump? Yeah, you're talking about Trump. Yeah.
Hang on. Can you? Yeah. Sorry, I just got something in my. Hang on, I'll get rid of that. Just had some news feed come in my ear, and I wasn't sure.
Okay.
What that was from? Yeah, but that's two. Oh, no, there's too many different readouts at the moment. So
yeah, but if Fox News is playing that Biden's up
Fox News
to
of all things, yeah,
exactly that's pretty high tell, isn't it?
243 still on the BBC, so he's 30 odd points ahead just on that. And if he's gone ahead to what did it say? To what was it?
What was that? Sorry. The Fox News says two. It was on 264. Yeah, 264 because they needed 6 points, didn't they? Remember for Nevada to make 270.
Yeah, so Nevada's definitely in.
Nevada isn't in yet, and it is close as well. But there's 75% reporting, so that could still go on for a while. Nevada.
Blimey, yeah. I might have to call it a day because I'm not quite sure how much more of this I can take. But
yeah, no worries. I think it's a good idea to call it now.
It was good chatting about it. Hopefully the stream, to be honest, this stream might still be relevant in whenever you put it up. But
yeah.
Good to see you, but good to chat with you again. It's good to talk to a human being.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's going to be a month now, isn't it, until lockdown's relieved?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, far too long since I've spoken to anybody, but. Yeah. Anyway, good to see you. It was good to chat to Dougal again, and I'm now wowed at his political knowledge.
Definitely. Dougal's always wanting to jump on, but it's obviously work. You hopefully be able to jumple on a bit more easier now that obviously you'll be working from home.
I wanted to jump on from now on with just a better mic.
Definitely. Yeah, I think he's trying to.
He knew all the electoral points. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know who where all the points went to. So anyway, I'll say a good night from me.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Are you jumping on Friday as well, or?
Yeah, I'll throw in on Friday.
Cool.
I didn't have any plans.
Why not?
If I did, there's gone for a Burton now.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in for that. I might we might even have a reason to celebrate.
Cool.
Or at least take a big sigh of relief. The collective
of that will have a lot to talk about.
I just hope so. Yeah, I would say that if you hear a big noise like mid-Friday afternoon, that will be the collective anuses of the world just basically relaxing. Collective sphincters of the world just going like
a mist just rolls across the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot. The world's biggest, and everybody will exhale at the same time. Like, God, no, not as in like cheering, just like thank.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Cool. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah, thanks for jumping on. Have a good night. Take care, mate. Bye.
Hang in. Have a good one.
Cool. All right. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Probably gonna call it now. Thanks a lot for watching, and probably see you on Friday. Bye.